The minute the history teacher walked in, a sudden hush fell over the classroom. She was an absolute terror. That day, she announced a flash quiz and immediately turned her beady eyes to me.
Annette, when was America's Declaration of Independence signed?
Oh, thank God. I knew that one. 2nd of August, ma'am.
Are you stupid? Everyone knows it's the 4th of July.
Oh, actually, that's not true. Everyone thinks it's the same as Independence Day, but she slammed her book on the table.
Enough. If you keep making things up, your nose will grow longer.
I never make things up, ma'am, and that's not true. Otherwise, all grown-ups would have very long noses. She looked like she was about to blow a fuse.
You listen to me. I'm big and you're small. I'm smart and you're dumb, and that's the truth. Do you have any objection?
Yes, ma'am. I don't think you're very smart. As soon as the words were out, I clapped my hands on my mouth. I knew what was coming up next was the nightmare of every kid at Fairview School. I was immediately sent to the principal. She was worse than Miss Trunchbull in the movie Matilda. Miss Una turned around in her high chair, and I shuddered. She was only 5 feet tall and always wore the most hideous pink clothes. And we all knew she was absolutely vile. So, Annette, why did you do that? Do you think your teachers are dumb? Do you think I'm dumb? I really didn't want to answer that. Yes, kinda. She walked over to me slowly, and I could see the fury in her eyes. Do you want to know a secret? I really hate children. I don't know how your mother can stand you. I'm calling her now. When Mom arrived and found out what had happened, she turned to me angrily. Are you out of your mind? You can't talk to your teachers like that. Mom, I only told the truth, and you should defend me. That's what good mothers do. Oh, you think I'm a bad mother now? Sometimes. Hi, I'm Annette, and no, I promise I'm not a rude kid. I just have a medical condition that makes it impossible for me to tell a lie. But before I continue, click like and subscribe. Mom scolded me all the way home, but as soon as we got there, we were both shocked to see police cars outside. What seems to be the problem, officer?
Seems like your husband's mixed up with some really shady people. Have either of you seen this man around the house?
Oh, no, sir, never. I've seen him. I was horrified. Suddenly everyone's eyes were on me. I saw him last night in Daddy's study. He gave him some papers, and Daddy put them in his safe. And before I knew it, Dad was taken away in handcuffs. Mom dragged me inside the house. You think it's funny to say the first thing that comes into your stupid head? You just sent your dad to prison. Mom, I didn't mean to. You know I can't tell lies. I've had it with your nonsense. Everyone can tell lies. And with that, she flung herself onto the couch and sobbed loudly for the rest of the evening. I snuck off to my room, feeling like the world's worst daughter. I quietly crept out of the house early next morning and headed off to school. I really needed to see my best friend Janet. When she saw me, she came over and hugged me tight. Hello, Miss Popular Overnight. Everyone's talking about you. Everyone heard about how you talked back to the cranky witches. You're practically our new hero. And everyone was giving me fist bumps and high fives in the corridors. Was I cool now? Usually it was just me and Janet at lunch, but today it seemed like everyone wanted to sit at our table. A little while later, Monica, the principal's niece, came over. Oh, hasn't anyone read the morning paper today? Here you go. With that, she threw it on the table for everyone to see, and my eyes widened in horror. Splashed all across the front page were pictures of Dad being taken away by the police. Are you a little criminal too, Annette? Do you get the highest marks in class by cheating? Like daddy, like daughter. I felt so mad. Putting people down doesn't make you cool, Monica. It just makes you a jerk. And I don't need to cheat to get good grades. Try opening a book sometimes. It's not that hard to be smart. There was a stunned silence, and then suddenly everyone started cheering and clapping. Monica looked livid as she stormed off. Someone quickly threw the paper away, and Janet pressed my hand. Dude, I wish I could be like you. No one dares talk to Monica like that. You're so brave and cool. Teach me. Oh, I don't think I can. It's just the way I was born. I bet your mom is so proud to have a daughter like you. Oh, yeah, really proud. When I got home that day, There were police officers swarming all over the place again. The minute Mom saw me, she screamed angrily, "We're getting evicted, and they're taking everything!" And before I knew it, we'd lost our home and moved into the tiniest apartment. I even had to share a bed with Mom. She kept kicking me in her sleep all night. The next morning, she threw another bombshell on me. "If you want to go to college, Missy, you better get a scholarship. There's no way I can afford your tuition fees now." Things weren't great at home, but I'd suddenly become the most popular person at school. Janet said that the teachers treated me nicely now because they didn't want to get themselves insulted by me. Everyone at school thought I was a legend. Since that day, the principal was after me with a vengeance. She just seemed to be everywhere, ready to punish me over the dumbest thing. One day, Janet was showing me this cute boy on Instagram who worked at the same coffee shop as her. As we were swooning over his pictures, suddenly, Miss Una's shrill voice nearly made me drop the phone. "Boys and girls must always be 2 feet away from one another. Do you see any boys around, Miss Una? Don't try to be oversmart. Detention for you both." I started to spend a lot of time in detention. I could only look forward to getting out of here soon. I started working on my college applications and scholarships, and all the teachers were helping me out. Except one, of course, the history teacher. When she returned my last assignment, I was horrified to see a big fat D on it. "But ma'am, this assignment was really well researched and..." She just stuffed her fingers in her ears. "La la 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 la." And with that, she just walked away. I was never going to get a scholarship without perfect grades. One day when I was studying in the library, I heard someone say, "Psst." I turned around to see that it was Monica. "What do you want?" "Oh, nothing. But I have something you want." When I looked at the paper she put on the table, I gasped. Final history exam. OMG, this is the exam for tomorrow. Where did you get that? Are you trying to get me expelled? No, I'm helping you get the perfect grade you want. I don't need your help. Take this back. What's going on, girls? What's that you're fighting over? I turned around in horror to see Miss Una, and before I knew it, she'd snatched the paper from my hand. "Oh my, look what we have here. In my office. Now." I couldn't believe the two had actually set me up. Miss Una closed the door behind her and turned to me. "The apple never falls too far away from the tree, does it? Just like your dad, aren't you? When word gets to all these colleges that you stole a final exam, you can kiss all your dreams goodbye." I was absolutely horrified. "You know I didn't steal that. You can't do this." "Of course I can. I can do anything I want. There might be a way out for you, though." "And what's that?" "You'll be competing in the Maths Olympiad tomorrow. The participant we have now is an idiot, and you're a stupid genius. I need that trophy while I'm principal. You better win it for me, or else." "How can I be ready for it by tomorrow?" "That sounds like your personal problem." And with that, she just shoved me out of her office. I spent the whole night cramming volumes of math books. The next morning, my heart was pounding when we made it to the competition venue. I really had to do well. My whole future was at stake. After a series of grueling oral and written exams for hours, the results were finally announced.
"And first prize goes to Fairview School."
No one was more shocked than I was. I walked onto the stage in a trance, while Miss Una had already flown up there to receive the trophy, and she kept hugging me and saying how proud she was. The announcer turned to me and said, "We've never had a participant win by such a huge margin. Is there anyone as smart as you in your school?" Oh God, I really didn't want to answer that. I would sound like a pompous butthead. No, I'm the smartest."
"Amazing! We can't wait to see what you do at the state championship."
Wait, what? I thought this nightmare was over. On the car drive back to the school, Miss Una turned around to me. "Start prepping for the state competition next week. There will be so many important people there, including the mayor. I'm probably going to be awarded Best Educator." Her face turned really menacing. "You'll win it for me, won't you? And you'll keep that mouth of yours shut next time, if you know what's good for you." Janet was horrified when she found out the principal was blackmailing me, but I told her I had to do what she said, and she helped me study day and night till the day of the big competition. Our school was hosting the event, and the place was buzzing with excitement. I was just shaking in my boots. Hours later, the whole school had gathered in the auditorium to hear the results, and the crowd erupted into loud applause and cheers as my name was announced. I went onto the stage to receive my trophy and was asked to sit down for a few questions.
Annette, you must be so proud to win this for your school. And it must be amazing to have someone like your principal to encourage you. Would you like to say a few words about her?
Oh my God, telling the truth would ruin me. I saw Miss Una glaring at me with a stiff smile on her face. I had no choice. The only thing I can say about her is that she's the most evil principal on the planet. She bullies everyone. The only reason I'm in these competitions is because she told me she'd ruin my chances of going to college if I didn't participate. She shouldn't be allowed anywhere near kids. The auditorium was suddenly filled with pin-drop silence. Just then, Janet rose from the crowd and shouted, "Yeah, she's a jerk." Another student got up and said, "I hate coming to school because of her." And before I knew it, hundreds of kids were chanting, "We want her out of here." Miss Una's eyes were about to pop right out, and she suddenly fled from the scene. Janet had made a video of my interview and the whole scene after, and it went viral. For the next few days, it was trending like crazy on Snapchat and Twitter. I couldn't believe it. We'd literally started a movement. The school board immediately looked into the matter and fired Miss Una. Fast forward a few months, and I've graduated high school with honors. I'm off to one of the best universities on a scholarship with my best friend Janet.
Celine, don't forget your glasses.
Mom called out to me as I walked across the lawn to my new college dorm room. I wish she'd just go home already. I loved my mom, but she reminded me of a life I wanted to leave behind. Throughout high school, everyone said I was a nerd.
It's okay to be a nerd. Some of the richest people in the world were school nerds.
That was Mom's idea of a pep talk whenever I came home sad because some kid at school bullied me. Graduation couldn't have come soon enough. When I got accepted to my college of choice, I was super excited, but my excitement died down when I imagined that it would be like high school all over again.
Celine!
I was startled by my mom. "Oh yeah, the glasses," I said as I walked back to the car. "Thanks, Mom. Have a safe trip back."
Are you sure you don't need me to help you unpack?
"I'll be fine. Go." I wasn't planning to unpack just yet because I had appointments to get to. First with the optician to have my glasses replaced with contacts, and then with the hairstylist right after. Then I was going to have my first kiss. Somewhere in there, I plan to study too. Before I wow you with my new look, please like this video and subscribe to this channel. Also, hit that notification bell. My first kiss depends on it.
Hi, is this seat taken?
Charlie, a guy in my class, asked me. Charlie was the male version of me in high school, complete with thick glasses, a heavy backpack, and a sweater vest.
Yeah, it's taken. Celine was reserving it for me.
Scarlett, my new friend, walked past Charlie and sat in the empty seat. Scarlett and I met at the mall when I went shopping for clothes to go with my new look. She was super popular and had a huge following online. Charlie nodded, then went to look for another seat.
You're welcome.
Girl,
Please, you don't work so hard to look like that just so you could date the class nerd.
he just needed a seat. Nobody said anything about dating.
Please don't tell me you feel sorry for him.
Not really. It's just that he reminds me of someone I used to know. What I meant was, he reminded me of someone I used to be.
Whatever, I need you to come with me to some boring meeting.
The boring meeting turned out to be with Steve, a guy who needed Scarlett to advertise his new dating app on her Instagram page.
The app is called Blind. We named it that because unlike other dating apps, users cannot upload any photos of themselves or use their real names.
What? How are people supposed to find each other?
Through their likes, dislikes, common interests, and stuff like that.
Scarlett looked bored.
Whatever, tell me what you need me to post.
All you have to do is tell your followers about the app and how it works.
Done.
Scarlett replied as she got up to leave.
There's one more thing. Blind will get more downloads if you sign up and announce you're looking for a match.
I don't need an app to find a date.
Of course not, but we're willing to pay double the amount if you keep your profile up and running for a month, then pick one guy to meet for one dinner.
A few hours later, Scarlett posted a video of herself creating a profile on Blind. The video already had more than 500,000 views. Wow! Blind already has over 1 million downloads.
Must be the guys hoping to go on a date with me.
Scarlett was not known for being humble. An incoming notification pinged on her phone. Another match? Scarlett made a face.
Yeah, I don't get it. I made my profile as boring as possible.
What do you mean?
Here, see for yourself.
She tapped the Blind icon on her phone screen. I don't understand. Whose profile is this? Scarlett smiled proudly.
Mine!
Since when do you like going to the library and watching the History Channel?
I don't. I just wrote that to confuse people.
Even I was confused. But don't you have to chat with several guys until you pick your dinner date?
Yeah, so?
So your profile basically says you're a nerd, meaning you'll attract fellow nerds? You don't even speak nerd.
You do.
Huh?
Come on, Celine. I know all about your extreme makeover college edition. You may have changed your look, but you're still the same girl.
I haven't told anybody.
Your secret is safe with me.
I smiled in relief.
So, I was thinking...
Scarlett tapped her long manicured nails on the table.
You could take over my Blind profile.
Take over?
Accept chat requests and reply to chats from my matches.
But how will you pick your date if you don't chat with them yourself?
You'll pick. All I have to do is show up and look hot as always.
What if he wants to keep seeing you?
I'll just let him down easy.
Scarlett was so smart, it was scary.
Something funny?
I looked up to see Charlie standing in front of me. I was sitting on a bench in between classes. Huh?
You were smiling just now.
Oh, it's nothing. Just this guy I've been talking to online. He's really funny.
Lucky guy.
It's nothing serious. We're just getting to know each other.
So, if I asked you out for coffee, there's a chance you'd say yes?
I didn't hate Charlie. In fact, he seemed kind and interesting. It's just that Scarlett would not approve.
I guess I may have my answer.
He said as he started to walk away. Why did I feel like I just kicked a basket full of puppies? Another chat popped on my screen, and I smiled even before I read it. It was from Archie, one of the guys that matched Scarlett's pseudo profile. We had been chatting for 2 weeks now. He was smart and funny. I was starting to get butterflies in my stomach every time my phone pinged.
So, don't you think it's time we met?
Dread filled my stomach when I read his newest chat. I really wished I could say yes, but this was Scarlett's account. In about 1 week, the Blind Scarlett dinner date, as Steve called it, would be happening. A few days earlier, Scarlett asked me to pick her date for the dinner, and I picked Archie. She also requested I go with her. Why? People are expecting to see you and Archie. I'll just be in the way.
You won't be. Steve will reserve a table for you to sit alone.
Imagine setting your boyfriend up for a date with another girl. Now imagine sitting a few tables away and watching them the whole evening. Yep, definitely not fun. Not that Archie was my boyfriend or anything, but it was definitely heading in that direction. Too bad it was about to blow up in my face. Wow, you look stunning, Scar. It was the evening of the dinner date, and we were in Scarlett's room getting ready. When Archie was contacted and informed that he'd been chatting with Scarlett the whole month, he immediately said yes to the date.
Thanks. Now tell me again, Archie is in college, loves math, has a pet named Sauce. What else am I forgetting?
That he likes me, not you. I wished I could say that out loud. Steve sent a limousine to pick us up. I felt like a celebrity. The venue for the date was elegantly decorated with flowers and beautiful lighting. There was even a red carpet. A crowd was already gathered.
All right, girls, let me show you to your tables. Once Scarlett is seated, Archie will walk in. Ready?
Steve said as he led us inside. He was wearing a tuxedo. I was excited to see Archie for the first time, but also sad because he wasn't there to meet me. As soon as we walked in, Scarlett smiled and waved. How could this be so easy for her? I was sweating bullets. Steve directed me to the table I'd be watching the date from.
And now, the moment we've all been waiting for. I know we're dying to see the guy that had Scarlett's attention for a month. Ladies and gentlemen, Archie.
I couldn't look. I shut my eyes tightly and tried to control my breathing.
What the heck? Is this a joke?
Scarlett sounded mad. I immediately opened my eyes and froze. Charlie? You're Archie? I couldn't hide the shock in my voice.
Yeah, hi Celine, surprise!
He tried to smile, but I could tell he was very nervous too. Steve had a camera trained on Scarlett.
Did you know?
Scarlett turned her full wrath on me. Scarlett, I swear I didn't.
No what?
Scarlett completely ignored Charlie.
Why should I believe you? Tell me you didn't set me up so I could be humiliated.
What's humiliating about being on a date with Charlie? He's a really nice guy. He's also really smart.
Unbelievable. Did you develop feelings for him when you guys were chatting on my account?
What?
This dinner was getting more disastrous by the minute.
You know what? I don't care. He's all yours. Steve, I'm sorry, I can't do this.
A few minutes later, she was gone. Steve paced the floor, scratching his head.
We could still save this. How? Scarlett would rather eat glass than be seen with me.
Steve looked at me.
Scarlett said you were the one chatting with Charlie the whole time, right?
Yeah. Where was he going with this?
How do you guys feel about continuing with the dinner?
I was about to say no, but then I realized this was it. This was the day I dreamt about for the past 1 month. Archie was right in front of me, and all I had to do was say yes. I turned and walked towards the exit, just like Scarlett did. When I got to the door, I turned and walked back towards Charlie, smiling and pretending I was seeing him for the first time. Hi, I'm Celine.
So not cool. I thought you were gonna walk out on me too.
Charlie laughed. He looked so relaxed now. Sorry, I couldn't help myself. Dinner went great. We ended up talking for hours. To my relief, he wasn't mad or anything. At the end of the evening, the limousine drove us back to my dorm room. This must be what being in a fairy tale feels like, I thought to myself as we said our goodbyes. Over the next few weeks, Charlie and I went out for more dates. We sat together in class and held hands while walking around college. Adorable, right? Now if only I could gather the courage to kiss him. One evening, I was getting dressed for a date with Charlie when Scarlett knocked on my door. We hadn't seen or spoken to each other since she walked out on Charlie weeks ago. Steve came running behind her.
Did you know?
Was she broken or something? I already answered that question weeks ago. Nice to see you too, Scar. And no, I didn't know that Archie was Charlie. And why are you so mad still? You still got paid. Just then, Charlie walked in, carrying a bouquet of flowers. He immediately tensed when he saw Scarlett and Steve.
Is everything okay?
Charlie, hi. About the other day, I'm so sorry for walking out on you. No hard feelings?
Yeah, sure.
Maybe we can go for coffee soon?
I'm sorry, what? Why was she being nice all of a sudden?
I'm so sorry, boss. I thought you already told Celine, so I told Scarlett. I was going to tell Celine the truth tonight.
I was so lost. The truth about what?
The truth about who he really is. Charlie is my boss, and also the brains behind the blind app.
Oh, for God's sake, if Steve won't say it, I will. Celine, your boyfriend is a freaking billionaire. I can't believe I gave him to you.
So many things went through my head at once. I said what came to mind first. Charlie is not my boyfriend. At least not yet, but I was going to ask him to...
I think Celine and I need to have a talk. Alone.
Steve nodded and walked out. Scarlett reluctantly followed him, but not before she asked Charlie to call her about that coffee date. Yeah, that was not going to happen. So, this whole thing was you testing your app?
What? No. Okay, at first, yes. When I created my profile, I didn't expect to meet anyone special. But then we talked for a month and I was dying to meet you. Even though our first meeting wasn't exactly planned, I still had a great time. I'm sorry I didn't tell you right away. I was going to tell you tonight.
I'm a little mad you didn't tell me right away, but I'm sure you had your reasons, especially after that whole thing with Scarlett. If I was being honest, I'd also hidden a few things from him, though nothing as big as him being a billionaire. That was going to take a while to get used to.
Are we still on for dinner?
Yes, we have so much to talk about. On our way out, we bumped into my mom. Mom, what are you doing here?
Celine? Is that really you? You look so different.
Mom, is everything all right at home?
Everyone's fine. I'm here because your new glasses got delivered. Dr. Sloan said your old ones were due for a replacement. But I see you don't need them anymore.
Actually, I do. I said as I took the small package from her hands. Charlie, meet my mom. Mom, meet Charlie, my...
Boyfriend, it's nice to meet you.
While Charlie and Mom got acquainted, I rushed back into my dorm room to remove my contacts. A few minutes later, I walked out, wearing the glasses Mom brought. So, what do you think?
Wow.
Charlie adjusted his glasses as he walked towards me. Why are you so nervous?
What makes you think I'm nervous?
You just adjusted your glasses. I used to do that all the time when I was nervous. Charlie was standing really close to me now.
I'm nervous because I'm about to kiss you.
I adjusted my glasses too, and we both smiled. And that, my dear viewers, is how I got my first kiss.